Hi, it's me. I'm getting rid of a lot of books, so I figured why not just make a big book unhaul video, and then maybe not film all of these slightly newish books, but like split it up into parts maybe. I don't know. So we're just gonna go through them, and I'm gonna make two piles. One of them is going to be potentially for what's it called? My mom's works library. Just because a lot of these are like young adult, but they're gonna go towards a junior high school. So either way, like these are gonna be gone. And then the other part I'm gonna give to little free libraries, and possibly just try to see if I can get any money from Half Price Books, but I doubt it because it's Half Price Books. So without further ado, let's get into it. Also, some of these might be super controversial. Disclaimer real quick. A lot, like I would say maybe a good 25% of these books are from Owlcrate, and I recently unsubscribed to Owlcrate. Just because Owlcrate is getting more expensive by like maybe like 6 months per period, and my mother was paying for it, and now I'm subscribed to like a completely new subscription box, which is Broadway related, and it's actually pretty cool, not gonna lie. Just because like that's more geared towards my interest. But enough with that. So without further ado, let's just get into the unhaul. So these are really gonna be in no particular order. And yeah, so first two books I have are The Heir and the Crown by Kiara Cass. I still have the Selection, the Elite, and the One. But I've seen people like get rid of like added on books in a series just because like they didn't like it, because originally it was that whole trilogy and it was just gonna be that trilogy. But then Kiara Cass decided to add on these two, taking place from the perspective of America. And oh my god, what's the husband's name? Prince Maxton. There we go. And Maxton's child. And the way that it just ended overall, I didn't like. And I understand that like the daughter was trying to be progressive and everything, but I'm just like, this really could have been a trilogy and just a trilogy. So we're gonna give these two a way. We're just gonna slowly make it down. Next up, it might be a little bit controversial, but I'm getting rid of Dumpling and Pudding. I liked Dumpling, and even like my mom was shocked that I'm giving it away. And I told her because yes, I felt connected in the story, but like it didn't stick with me as much as like the Museum of Us did, where I connected way more with that. And I don't know, like I'm plus size / mid size depending on where you want to put my size demographic in, and the main character is plus size, but like also at the same time Julie Murphy just kept adding on more books to the story and like the universe that it's in, and I physically can't keep up with it. So there's that. Next book I have is Wonderstruck. It's by the same author who wrote The Invention of Hugo Cabret, and I grew up on The Invention of Hugo Cabret. It was, fun fact, the first book I read twice. I read the first time for like enjoyment. The second time I had to reread it because of a book club I was in when I was in school. But I know it's a movie, but I never got around to it. And the Hugo movie just sucked, period. And I know this is a movie, and I knew I wanted to watch the movie, but like I just never got around to it. That's why I'm giving it away. Okay. Next thing I have is the first series I'm going to give away, and it's the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo series. So we have this, We have the girl in a spider's web. We have the girl who played with fire, and then the girl who kicked a hornet's nest. I don't know if this is part of the same series. I don't know if, because I'm aware that he also wrote a completely different series, but like it's within like the same title as like Girl with a Dragon Tattoo. It was a movie from what I remember, but I never got around to watching the movie because it did interest me, but because of how old I wasn't allowed to watch it. And then I just never got around to reading it. It also didn't help either, because of where my because of where my dystopian books are at. I physically never saw it, and because of my ADHD, if I don't see it, I don't read it. So that's why I always take a constant look around of where of like what books I physically have, and I honestly never saw that series, so there we go. First book from the Owlcrate subscription box I am getting rid of, and that is Wicked Saint. I wanted to like this book so much. I had an advanced reader copy of it when I got the book. I was so excited, and then the controversy came around that the author Emily A. Duncan took this book and based her research along the lines of anti-Semitism, and I am also not giving this book to the library just because it deals with that. It had an interesting concept, but like ever since I saw the YouTube videos, I saw the news articles and everything like that, I wanted to like it, but I don't like it, so sorry. And like the sad thing too is that it was so high up on my TBR, and now it's not. Next book I have is I'll Give You the Sun. I think this is becoming a movie, but it just never interested me. This was also one of the hardback books that was like slightly taller than the average hardback, and it drove me insane. Yeah. I had it just because everyone else was reading it. I was in FOMO. Next one was We All Looked Up. The more I look at some of these books, the more I'm like, why did I buy them? Like, same thing with Every Last Word. Why did I buy it? I don't know. Okay. Now we're slowly starting to move away from the pile because I literally just like threw them on my floor. All right. Second Owlcrate book, Among the Beast and Briars by Ashley Poston. I think Owlcrate has this thing where they stick with an author and they just like keep getting their books. Because Ashley Poston wrote something else that I gave away because like the concept just wasn't interesting enough. So I think that's a thing that Owlcrate has, because there were a couple authors that I was starting to give away from Owlcrate, and I'm like, wait a minute, I know this author. So the next one I have is the Criers War. I think this is like one of the first books of the year before I started to not get overwhelmed with Owlcrate, but like their covers were just like, well, their exclusive covers, I should say, were just getting not overwhelming, but just like at a point it was just like so drastically different that I was just like, you know what, no, we're not gonna do this. So bye. Next one is The Ones We're Meant to Find, and this was actually the last Owlcrate book I had. This got very mixed reviews. One of the booktubers who I subscribe to, Haley in Bookland, I trust her with a lot of the ratings, and she did not like this book. She DNF'd it at 68%. Yeah, no, I mean, and from what like the cover is going for, it doesn't match the description of what the book is actually about. Next book I have is the Hazelwood by Melissa Albert. This was the Owlcrate exclusive. I read the advanced reader copy for it. I was so excited for the second one, and then I just never got around to the second one. So hopefully this finds a better home. This also is an exclusive cover. I'm not digging the green. I was digging the black. Next one is Bone Crier's Moon. So I feel like Owlcrate fucked up somehow because part of where like the spine is supposed to meet is bleeding into the cover. That's why half the time I don't think that these exclusive covers work out half the time. And like you can even see like where here, this will be better. Like it's not even centered. It's not centered. So there you go. Next book I have, it's not Owlcrate, but like it's one of the books where I slowly started to decline from asking authors for reviews, and that is Heir of Powers. I did a collaboration with this author and like a whole bunch of other authors for this thing that was going on, and it took me fucking ages to get through this book. And like I kept it because it was a memory and it was like one of my first like big time things I was going for, and then it like I just lost interest over time. So next one is What Blooms from it has dog hair on it. What Blooms from Dust. This was a really good novel, but I had it as an advanced reader copy. Then one day I saw it at a store in Georgia and I was like, oh, I gotta get it. And yeah, I don't need it if I read it as an advanced reader copy. Next one is One Memory of Flora Banks. This was also the point in time where in my life I just started, if it was a signed copy of a book that was like somewhat on my TBR, I just got it, but it was also a a book club Target pick. So, and like the worst thing too is that usually like the author, from what I've seen, has signed it in Sharpie, and the author signed it in pen. So I don't give like discredit from the author. Like it's a lot of things to do when you sign copies, but I don't know, just wasn't doing it. Next one I have is Noggin. So when my mom at one point in time, she went to this reading convention and it had a whole bunch of Illinois authors, and this author was one of them. And there were a couple where she got signed and personalized to me, and like I felt like that was a need where I had to like actually read them because they were personalized. I didn't want to give them away. So this one wasn't personalized, but the concept is really cool, but now I'm just like not digging it, period. So it'll go to someone who would actually like it. Next up I have is Mirage, and this was actually the first series where the a big name publishing company contacted me to read the second book, and I never got around to reading the second book. So it's a cool concept, but I think like just a single book alone, and they did a cover redesign that I wasn't digging with, so I got that going for me. Amber in the Dusk, it didn't sound interesting, so that's why. Star Daughter also didn't sound interesting. See, this is a problem with Owlcrate. Like, the books could be very hit or miss, and I wish it was also just like a personalized like, what kind of book do you want to read next versus just like shoving it in there. Like, it was also the case for Winterwood and Scavenge the Stars. Like, I wasn't interested in either of these. I wasn't. I simply wasn't. That's the problem with Owlcrate that I had. Okay, we're slowly almost... There's a whole other fucking pile I forgot. Damn it! The book I have is Silver Linings Playbook. I loved the movie. Didn't know it was a book, but I think this is like a novelization of the book. So... But... Oh no, this was actually a book. But still loved the movie regardless. Another controversial one I have is Map of Days by... Why? Next book I have is Map of Days by Ransom Riggs. He just decided to keep going with the series, even though he said that he was just gonna stop after, what is it, Library of Souls? I think I read Library of Souls. I did read Library of Souls. I think I did. I definitely remembered reading Hollow City. Anyway, so, and like by the time that this book came out, like in my head I was like, okay, we're done. And then he wrote this, and then he wrote the 5th book, and then he wrote the 4th book, and I was like, I cannot keep up, my dude. I cannot keep up. I did finish Library of Souls. Okay, that took me a hot second. Next book I have is Ready Player One. The concept of the book was really cool. But then he wrote a second book, which I felt like there really wasn't a need for. So everything was fucking falling around me. Yeah, it's a good book. Really wasn't a need for a second one though. Next book I have, I didn't want to get rid of the series, but like, it's not the vibe anymore. And that is the Dorothy Must Die series. First of all, the reason why I am giving it away, the main reason I should say, look how big the first one is. And then look how tiny the next 3 are. They're almost practically the same size as the first book, like in these 2 alone. And I said in my review for the 2nd and the 3rd one, like, if these 2 were combined, I would have been happy, but because they were written as separate books, I wasn't digging it. So yeah, just wasn't digging the series. Sorry, fam. We're gonna have to make 2 separate piles now. Next book I have is Into the Water. This was also a signed copy that I got from a little free library. I loved Girl and Train, but I don't know. I think this author is just like a one-hit wonder for me. So that's why we're not gonna do it for this one. So there's that. Next book I have is Broken Things by Lauren Oliver. Again, it's an author I knew. It was signed. How to get it. Simple as that. Winterfall. Same thing. David Levithan, same thing. But you know what's even funnier? I got this at a Goodwill, right? Personalized for Erica. Got it because it was signed. What to say next? Got this book because it was signed. Read Tell Me 3 Things, and Tell Me 3 Things wasn't even that good, so I don't even know why I bought it. Goddess in the Machine. This was another Owlcrate subscription box. Yeah, no, it just wasn't captivating me. This cover's not captivating. And again, that was an Owlcrate exclusive one too. The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness. I love A Monster Calls. I think it's probably one of the best books I've ever read in my life. But this one, I don't know. The concept's cool. But like, I think in the end, they actually do become the main character from what I saw. Oh god, this pile's slowly tearing. Grace and Fury. I've had this on my please get rid of me pile for so long. And here we are. Next one is Paranormalcy. Kiersten White. I love Kiersten White. I think her books are amazing. Anti Darken, that trilogy is really good, and I have to get back into it. But yeah, just not digging that one. Alex and Eliza and Love and War. Solely got it because it was Hamilton, but I don't think their love story needed to be novelized. Suicide Notes from Beautiful Girls. I tried reading this and I wasn't digging it. It was on like somewhat the same path as Before I Fall, and Before I Fall had the trope of reliving the first day, but it was written well. But this book was like on the same path, minus the girl repeating the same day over and over again. So like it was along the premise of like these two girls used to be best friends. One of them committed suicide, and one of the characters is like, oh, I don't think it was suicide, I think she was involved with this, and she like goes to try to solve her murder, but yeah, just wasn't digging it. Wasn't. Last fucking pile, thank God. I'm really sad to let this series go, and that is Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy. I read Daughter of Smoke and Bone and I liked it, and then but my thing is that I read this on audio on Overdrive, and then come to find out that the second and the third book weren't on audio, and it's been like 4 fucking ever since I read the first one, and I didn't want to reread the first one. So then I just tried to go into the second one blind. That wasn't smart, because I'm like, okay, like I remember who these people were, but I forgot like the main conflict that happened in the first book. So I was like, you know what? Someone else is gonna like these. And the thing too is that like I know like these covers are rare now at this point, I believe. So yeah, got that going. Okay, and the last few books I have are the Aragon series. I have the first 3. I've always wanted to read the series, but I just never got around to it. I did watch the movie before though, and the movie was it was okay. But other than that, like I wasn't digging it. I wasn't digging the movie, so, and I knew like the book was gonna be way better. But these are practically like the young adult version of Lord of the Rings, just because they're so well beloved. So yeah. Okay. That's it. So in total, I went through all 3 of my main bookshelves. I have a 4th one that has like my classics, and it's like a combination between like my mom's textbooks when she was in college and a combination of like some other things that I personally own. So in total, we have like 3 big stacks, and we have 52 books. Holy shit. I think that is the biggest pile I have ever gotten rid of in my whole life. Oh, I just pulled out a whole bunch of dead hair. Nice. Wow. That'll be a cool clickbait title. So yeah. I'll probably do a haul of like recent books within my bookcase, because I do have quite a few books I do want to share. But then again, like, my bookcase collection just has slowly gotten bigger. So yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe. Follow my blog, or follow my book blog, because that's where I post a lot of my stuff with all the current books I am currently reading, but I haven't posted on my blog in a while. So yeah, I will see you guys at a point in time. Bye.